Hey gamers, welcome back. So for this week's weekly update, I'm gonna try to get it going around like Monday, Tuesday, more so depending on like how busy we are with orders. So coming off the weekend, if we have a jam-packed weekend like this last weekend, makes it a little bit difficult for like catching up on like the online orders. So we'll kind of play it by ear a little bit to get these weekly updates more consistent. But I'm gonna try my very best to do it on Monday, if not Tuesday at the latest. So jumping into the weekly update coming forward, I want to thank everybody that came out for this past weekend. One Piece players, we had a blast with our Heroiness event on Sunday, and then we also did the Treasure Cup 2 on Saturday. So it was a jam packed weekend for One Piece, which was fantastic. We kicked off pretty good with our Pokemon Perfect Order pre release. Um, we had a lot of folks come out and have fun with that. So we still have spots available for this weekend coming up. So we'll jump into some of the big heavy hitter events that we've got this weekend. So Riftbound on Saturday at 1 p.m. We have our skirmish event. And then we also are firing at the same time the Perfect Order pre-release. So this is kind of more of we kind of separated it where we front loaded this past weekend, and then we do the weekend just before the actual street date release, as well as kind of a more like a fill in slash if you couldn't make it on the first one, here's a couple leftover spots to jump in. So it gives folks a couple options because I know a lot of stores are doing the same pre-release on the same weekend, so this gives other players opportunities to partake in multiple events so they can get access to the new set early, which is going to be really fun. Also on Sunday, then we jump into our second Heroiness battle. So that's going to be another fun event. So if you have your favorite female leader, that's a perfect time to bring that deck out and test it out against the rest of the gamers. So that kind of like just touch bases on the big events that we have going for the week, but we still have our regular weekly play, which we didn't really talk about much on our last little update. But we're trying to build out our weekly play spread out throughout the week a little bit more as we start entering a little more variety of gameplay. So Mondays we have our regular Pokemon weekly play, and then we are going to start up the new One Piece. It's kind of a casual, like weekly event. So I think it's the Pirate Party, as I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is what it's called. And that should be coming up here. I think it's starting in April, if I'm not mistaken. But as we get closer to that date, we'll definitely announce it in the video. But the fun part with this though is that what they did is they took the as an option of your standard 1v1, but you could also do a little bit more of a limited format, which is what we're going to jump into to make it more casual for the One Piece players. That way they have the access of, now would you say, like getting into the game. So even if you want like a starter deck, or just pick your favorite hero, or you want to do a funny leader and just have fun playing with that, just because the way the deck build is just it's a good time just for playing, but it might not be top tier, extremely competitive. So this is a perfect time to play more casual and at the same time have a nice intro event for new folks getting into the game too, so they don't feel discouraged when they're playing against folks that have been playing for a long time or that are currently following the meta and then just staying on top of what the top tier decks are. So the fun part with this event is that it's gonna they have kind of like a mini ban list, but it's not really banned. It's just more of like, I would say a better word would be like restricted. So the top 10 current meta leaders will be restricted, so you won't be able to choose those for your deck construction. But then the rest of it is wide open for play. So that's going to be a fun one coming up in the future. But then we also have on Thursdays, we have Union Arena. So we haven't had much of a crowd for Union Arena, and a lot of it has been really centered around just more of the new set releases, or if they do a rare battle, more of the one-off specialty events for our shop. But we still carry the product line, and we still offer the events. So if we start getting more players for that, we've got the prize support ready for you guys. Jumping into Friday, we've got a few different events that we run. We alternate a little bit I should say, like every other weekend, we've got a group champion Gundam for us. So we're trying to build that scene up here at the shop as well. So it's not every Friday, but it's kind of an alternating Friday. And one of the big things I always recommend is jump in our Discord. The Discord has more or less that quick interaction with the community. You can jump in with the card game that you're looking for, chat with the players at the shop, and then the same time too. Gundam, they typically post like, "Hey, we're coming up to the shop. This is our Friday that we're playing. Jump in. We'll see you up there." And then every Friday though, we also run our Star Wars Unlimited weekly play. So that's another fun event for the Star Wars game. And then for Magic, for our Friday Night Magic, we typically offer just a variety of open play. So if we get enough folks that want to play standard, we will fire standard. But typically, I would say a vast majority of the folks really enjoy Commander. So we'll have a few pods of Commander running Friday night. Then jumping into Saturday, this is just for our standard weekly play here. We usually reserve the beginning of the day for any of the specialty events, but around like that 5 p.m., 6 p.m. time frame is when we have our scheduled commander play. So technically all day is open commander play based on the way our calendar is set up, but a majority of our folks usually show up around that like 5 to 6 p.m. time frame. Then we jump into Sundays. Sundays we have Lorcana at 5 p.m. as well as One Piece at 2 p.m. So we've got it kind of stacked back to back with events. So as one event finishes up, usually we've cleared out enough space where we can jump into the next event, depending on how many players show up for our weeklies. So that kind of gives you a little rundown of how our weekly gameplay is set up here at the shop. Also, if you are a Warhammer player or any games workshop enthusiast, the cool thing that we also do as well is we've got a couple different like casual setups. We're working to build out into more competitive side for running RTTs and some more competitive events. But right now, we run through our Discord a casual league. So we've got some more, it's more so just, I would say, matchmaking. So my brother John sets up the tournament play, pairs people up, and then it's a 2 week period where you meet through Discord, schedule your match, and then come in and play. Then we've also got a Blood Bowl event that we're going to start coming up as we're gaining more interest. That's another one that we've got a customer that's going to champion that event for us. So that'll be a fun one. And then we're also in the works of getting Kill Team going too. So we've got a couple different things as we start building more and more interest in those alternative game lines that we'll start firing more regularly scheduled events, which will be really fun. So I hope this gives you a world of knowledge about the shop here as we start getting into these weekly updates. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. We'll see you.